people who are saying our members of our family are missing. They went to Mandamano or they went to picket and they did not come back. 200 people is not a joke, my friend. So I really want to plead with you. I am sorry to tell you, you have wrong numbers. I'm sorry to tell you that. It is
Mr.
not
President,
possible.
we even have the names. It's all over social media. What about
social media? I want to offer you. I want to offer you. Tomorrow, I want to offer you to bring the names and family members of the people who are saying their loved ones are not there. Don't even take them anywhere. Bring them to State House.
Millennials, Gen Z, everyone in the country has an issue with a couple of corrupt, let's just say a couple of unwanted people in the government who are not even supposed to be there. Their seats are not even constitutional. So we want to know if they are indeed, shown the door, who are they? Because, it doesn't matter what 50% these people are. It matters who the 50% are. Yeah. Anyway, I needed a clarification on that. I needed to know, since the finance bill was also not ascended by the president, since that was what our initial issue was. So what happens now? Is it just going to be passed automatically after 21 days from the time that it was not ascended? Or is it going to be stripped of completely? Yeah, I see there's another speaker. I think this is Dolly. Dolly, do you want to pick up where I've left?
Hi, my sister. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're listening from. I'm laughing here because you called me Dolly. I'm Kenyan, first of all. I'm fully Kenyan. My parents are in Kenya. My family is in Kenya. I was born in Kenya. That said, it is a wonderful thing that the president finally decides to hold a conversation with Kenyans, because Kenyans have been talking for a very long time and pleading with him to, first of all, seize the furtherment of this finance bill. But as we saw, he was in cahoots with the IMF and World Bank. Now, my question to William Ruto is, why didn't he listen to the citizens before lives were lost? What accountability is going to take place in regards to the lives that were lost? What has he done? Has he contributed anything towards the funeral? I had him accuse the Inspector General of being incompetent. But the judiciary, the executive, the legislative, all those are arms of the government, and he is in charge. So him accusing cabinets or ministers or cabinet secretaries and then accusing the Inspector General defeats the purpose. He probably doesn't understand his role, and I would like to know from him, does he really understand, after 2 years of presidency, that he is in charge of a country and he's not leading, just a small village? So thank you very much. I would like to have my questions answered, especially in regards to the picketing and the protests, which are guaranteed by every constitution. Every democracy guarantees the right to picket and to protest. And he has sent police, he has lauded police for attacking protesters violently. So I would like to hear from him why he goes on open camera on international television and lauds the police for violence against those who entrusted him with his position. Does he understand that the citizens gave him the power and they can retain it, they can take it back? So I would like Mr. President, Mr. Ruto, kindly answer. And I would also like to make a final statement in saying that, in order to be a leader, you have to listen to the people. If you are just occupying a seat, then you do not deserve the title of president. You have to prove yourself to be a president in order to you have to earn that title. And according to me, he has not earned that title. Another thing is, why is he constantly abroad? What is he doing? His mandate is towards the people of Kenya. Why is he always traveling? Whom does Charlene Ruto represent? Because she was not elected by the populace. And why is he rewarding cabinet ministers, cabinet secretaries with positions? If he feels he owes them positions, then he should do that of his own accord, out of his own pocket. We are tired and we want to know when he's dissolving parliament, because Kibaki did that. So please, Mr. Ruto, when you earn the title, I will refer to you as president, but until then, you remain Mr. Ruto. And trust me, other people have fallen before you. If you continue killing Kenyans and not taking accountability for it, you're going to be the next one. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dolly. Kevin Bugo, you can take the mic. Kevin. Hey guys, so the president is here. You feel free to engage. You can send the request, then I'll add you. Kevin, you can take the mic. Joy, do you hear me?
I can hear you quite well. Can you hear me though?
Yes, affirmative. Kevin. Okay, let you first take the mic. Msiogope kuongea by the way. Ongea tu vile mimi huongea.
Osama, unanisikia?
Yes.
Now, my question to the president was, how come he's so out of touch with reality? The other day when he was addressing us, he was completely out of touch in reality. Hakujua watu wenye waliuliwa. Commend police for shooting a lot of innocent guys. Kids were killed. The other day, when that kid was killed, alikuwa anasema he was actually not remorseful. Anauliza, did that child die? How do you expect such a child to be alive in a situation kama hiyo? Another thing is, sisi tunataka dissolve gava. I mean, cabinet yake. I'm so nervous, I'm sorry. Nataka dissolve. I'm speaking on behalf of my fellow GenZ, although I'm not a leader whatsoever. To dissolve the cabinet, siku reshuffle, could dissolve like what Kibaki did in the year 2005. Another thing is to hold all the wrong police officers accountable. Their photos are everywhere. We've seen them. None has been arrested. None has been posted on the DCI page. And we're asking why. The thing is, and whoever recognizes themselves as a leader to us who wako kivyake na is on their own missions. Another thing is to please sort out the passport issues. Kidiki, our interior minister is somewhat also out of touch with reality and incompetent. He doesn't deserve to be there. We thought he was smart until he proved us wrong. Another thing is with the US Embassy. Wase wengi ukwendanga huko hivyo wanatuanga domingi sana kwenye hizo interviews and blah 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 na eventually wananyimwa hizo visas. So can they also sort that out? Asanteni.
Thank you, Kevin. Saizi kila mtu anataka kusema mtaongea alafu the president will answer everything. We just need answers. That's why we are here. And actions.
Thank you, Otero. Good afternoon, everyone, again, and welcome to this conversation. I think Otero amefanya ile kitu, but as requested and promised, requested by and promised to the young people of Kenya, President Ruto is hosting this express conversation. We are hosting with him, together with my co-host Otero. And the president is here largely to listen, engage, and be a recipient of your thoughts, your experiences, ideas zenu for a better Kenya. Of course, it's a pleasure to be here and engage with you. This is an open forum. We encourage you to ask questions and share your thoughts. Please keep your questions as brief as possible and respectful. If you can limit our questions to just 2 minutes. We said 2 minutes for each person. As you can imagine, many people have a lot to say. Let's engage. And here now is President William Ruto.
Thank you very much, Hussein. Thank you very much, Otero. And welcome all good people, ladies and gentlemen, from different parts of Kenya, from different parts of the world to this conversation. As I promised, I have come, and I want to apologize first that for the last almost 1 hour, we haven't been in a position to have a proper connection. As technology would be, I think that is some of the vagaries of technology, but now I'm here. I apologize that maybe some people have asked some questions, but that I didn't have the benefit of hearing them. But let me say that I am very happy that we are having this conversation, a conversation about issues, a conversation about our country, a conversation about issues that affect each and every one of us. We are not discussing tribes, we are not discussing positions, we are not discussing all those things that are personalities and things like those. We are discussing issues of importance to each and every one of us, from jobs to governance to corruption to all the things that matter to all of us. And as I have said, I have come here to listen very carefully. That one thing I have been accused of not doing, that is what I have come here to do, number one. Number two, I must say that maybe I have been listening in different other spaces. Now I have an opportunity to listen on this platform to different Kenyans from different parts of the world and from our great country, Kenya. Now, let me just say 2 or 3 things that I think I had the last 2 speakers who asked their questions. The question number 1 that I have that has been asked is from Kevin, I think, that maybe I'm out of touch. How did I not know what was happening in the country? But let me tell Kevin and all of us that I have the benefit of more information in my hands. What I cannot do is do things like operate on numbers that have no basis. If you heard me very clearly, I said up to now, 25 Kenyans died out of this unfortunate scenario that affected our country the last 2 weeks. Some reckless people have put numbers all the way to 150. You know, in fact, on one occasion, the Kenya Human Rights Commission said 157 Kenyans have been, there was a massacre in Kidurai. That was not true. And for your information, even the BBC, on hearing such, outrageous allegations, went to investigate. And if you listen to the BBC, they say there was no such thing. In fact, one Kenyan unfortunately lost his life in Githurai. Let me go to the situation which was which happened in Rongai, where we lost a young Kenyan. The situation in Githurai was that a criminal in Rongai, a criminal assaulted the police, took over the firearm of the police, and shot, and unfortunately that bullet went and killed a young Kenyan. And unfortunately, again, and we have to be honest with one another, it was said that this young Kenyan was pumped with 8 bullets. That is also not true in Rongai, And so there is a lot of information out there in the social media propagated by people to try and create a situation that did not exist. In fact, I heard Kevin say, I was asking the one who did he die? Because, the one that was being said of 8 bullets did not exist. In fact, we have now found out that the one of 8 bullets happened several years ago, somewhere in Buruburu, and it was in a completely different scenario. But on Rongai, I was very clear. I had the benefit of information, and I spoke to that information. The same narrative I gave when I gave the interview on Sunday is the same narrative I have at the moment. I have also been, Kevin has also said that we need to hold the police accountable, and that is correct. And it has been said that I am the president. Yes, I am the president of Kenya. But the president doesn't hold absolute power. That is why we are a democracy. In a democracy, there is a system of checks and balances. The president is not a dictator. I cannot decide for the judiciary. I cannot decide for the legislature. They make their own independent decisions. I cannot decide for independent institutions. The police, and let me say this without fear of any contradiction. When I came into office, I said I will respect the independence of the police. In fact, the one act I did when I came into office, the first day when I sat on my table as president, I signed the instrument to remove the budget of the police from my office, because that budget was being used to manipulate the police. You all know that it is said, he who pays the piper calls the tune. So I did not want my office to be the one to decide for the police on who to arrest, who to charge, how to pursue corruption. I provide policy, the police run independently. In fact, if you read the Constitution of Kenya, the police is an independent institution. It doesn't take instructions from me. It doesn't take instructions from the Chief Justice. It doesn't take instructions from the Speaker or from the legislature. They act independently. I agree, good people, that innocent lives were lost. And one life lost is one too many. I have said in my statement that as government, we are going to support
Nikaa kuna issue ya connection. Hussein, unasikia?
Nasikia Otero. Just one moment, let the president use my handset in the meantime, yeah?
Osama Otero, I got a question in regards to what the president has said just now. First of all, I'm quite dismayed that he's still trying to clear his name. It is about accountability here. He's talking about the number of bullets that killed a citizen. Is it about one person dying, people dying, we know very well that the number exceeds 25 people. And it is not about one person or 25 people or 1 million people. It is about people being killed recklessly. He is still not taking accountability for his actions. And yes, if he says it is a democracy, we agree that is what we expect of a president, of a Kenyan, because independence was fought for and earned 12 December 1963. Now, we're still fighting to free ourselves from the IMF and World Bank, respectively. He's talking about the number of bullets that killed a citizen. He's talking about a citizen in Githurai attacking the police at 3 a.m.? Really? Honestly, Mr. William Ruto, your accountability is zero. I'm quite dismayed, honestly, because you came here to answer to the citizens, but you're taking zero accountability for it. And if you say they're independent, why do you laud the police for the murder of civilians? Why do you hold a press conference and tell the police that, citizens, that they're going to be met with equal force if they go and protest? And what he meant, he did not use the word protest precisely, but he said anyone who tries to disrupt the peace of the country. Protesters, how do protesters disrupt the peace of a country? Why do you laud the police when people are killed? Why are police shooting at civilians on their balconies? Why are people fleeing Kenya so that they may have peace? Why are they being abducted? You might say that the police body is independent, but this is not a democracy. It is not functioning like a democracy, but a dictatorship, Mr. William Ruto. Because the way the police are handling the situation is not fit for a democracy. And you cannot deny that you're behind that. Because even though you say they're independent, you have the power to stop the killings. But instead you go, after all the killings, you go hold a press conference and laud them. Sincerely, we saw Mandamano last year, how you dealt with the citizens. Same scenario this year. When is that going to stop? What kind of a democracy is this? Can you define what a democracy is, Mr. William Ruto? I think you grew up in a very authoritarian family that you expect people just to dance to your tune. In a democracy, the right to picket and to protest is guaranteed in the Constitution. The countries you travel to, Germany and, United States, first of all, why did you grant them visa-free entry to Kenya? Africans do not have the luxury, even diasporans don't have that luxury. The way diasporans are being treated at the airport, these bills. Now, what you did when you granted Europeans visa-free entry to the country is giving them the right to disrespect Kenyan citizens abroad. And the fee that was supposed to be incurred through the payment of visas is transferred to Kenyans. I mean, that is simple mathematics. You should know that.
Okay, Kenyan German lady, thank you so much.
Why don't you set the same expectations for European nations and the West in general as they set for Kenyans? Okay, why do you sit with them all the time and then the conditions worsen for Kenyans?
Okay, if you can hear me, Kenyan German lady, let's give it, we said we'll limit this to 2 minutes so that we give everybody a chance to... No worries, no worries. You're at liberty, of course, to ask your question. Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Let me say this to my sister. The right to picket, the right, and I said it in my statement, is enshrined in the Constitution. But let me also make a distinction. I said the protesters, peaceful, within their democratic right, were hijacked. There are people who infiltrated. And I am very sure that the people who banned the office of the Chief Justice, the people who banned Parliament, are not the peaceful protesters. These are criminals who I was speaking to, and I was saying the police must stop criminals who are banning institutions, who are banning people who have gone to destroy people's property. I don't think those were innocent demonstrators. I know for sure that innocent demonstrators came out to protest, to picket, because it is provided for by the Constitution. But honestly, do you want to tell me that the innocent protesters, the people who had come to picket, are the ones who went, broke up shops, stole people's property, burned down parliament? I don't think so. And we need to protect the protesters, but we need to keep the criminals who want to cause mayhem out. And I have the responsibility to do both by assisting, getting the police to do what they have to do. It is my responsibility to facilitate the police. The police will tell you, ever since I came into office, I have tried to assist them, to get them the right equipment, to get them the right capability to protect the country and to protect innocent protesters. Let me also tell you, many of the innocent protesters became victims of criminals who stole their phones. They were all over, who took away their money, who stole from them. This is the balance we need to get. But let me tell you, ultimately, after I have said everything I have said, I am ultimately responsible because I am president. And that is why I said it was regrettable. It was unfortunate that we lost lives in this engagement. And I have said government is going to assist all the families as to the extent that we can to make sure that we minimize the loss that they have gone through. Let me also say the following. On matters to do with passports, I think we have made a very big step in the right direction to make sure that we deal with the challenge of passports. And even now, we have given a green channel to Kenyans who are looking for jobs abroad. Today, there is a green channel at immigration to make sure that those Kenyans who have jobs abroad can be able to be processed much more easily. Let me also say, there is a reason why we have a visa-free regime in Kenya. And when I say a visa-free regime, it doesn't mean that people come to Kenya for free. That is not the same. It is that we have simplified the process. Today, you will come to Kenya. We have simplified the process because we want to escalate our numbers. And for your information, because of the visa-free regime, we now have a program called ETA. Our numbers for tourism have gone up by 500,000. More Kenyans today have jobs in our hotels. Our hotels in Kenya today are 80% full in many instances. If you speak to the tourism sector, they will tell you our numbers for tourism in 2022 was close to 1 million. Last year, it was 2 million. This year, we are heading to 2.7 million. It is part of the interventions that I have made. It is part of the changing of how do you come to Kenya. Make it easy. Today, you don't have to go to no office. Today, you can get your ETA, pay for it online, and be able to come to Kenya easily. And Kenya is not the only country in Africa that is doing that. We are all doing that. Look at what is happening in Europe. 27 countries in Europe, they don't have a visa between them. They have abolished visa between them. Why would we want to keep a visa regime that keeps business people, that keeps tourists out and makes it much more difficult for them to come and enjoy what we have? For your information, Kenya should not be having 2.7 million tourists. We should be having 10 million. In fact, London has nothing to show. London is blocks, old places. They have 20 million tourists. We should be having 10 million tourists. It is my focus that in the next 5 years, I want to double the number of tourists coming to Kenya by 2027, 2028, and progressively do that. Why do I need tourists in Kenya? I need to create jobs for millions of young people in our country. We need to create investment in Kenya. We need to make sure that our farmers have a place to sell their food. their produce. This is why I am doing the visa free. It is not us versus them. We are looking after our own interest, and that's what I'm doing. Let me also say the following. Many people have asked me why I shouldn't dissolve cabinet. You see, when you sit in the place that I sit, there are many things that you have to think about. And I have given my undertaking this afternoon, that I am in the process of looking at how differently we can be able to reorganize government for it to deliver effectively, appropriately. And I have listed a number of interventions that I believe will take us to the next level, added on to what we were doing. I have also heard from my good sister who said that what happens to the finance bill? Is it going to become law in 21 days? Because that was the biggest beef. And why did I wait until it was too late? Let me answer it this way. First, let me say that the finance bill today was a victim of many falsehoods and propaganda. The finance bill today was meant to achieve very important things for the Republic of Kenya. Unfortunately, I gave in because the people of Kenya had decided they do not want it, which is okay. But was there a problem with the finance bill? I would want a honest interrogation of the finance bill. For example, it was said that the finance bill had matters to do with increasing money for land rates and land rent and changing the whole configuration. Let me tell you, there is no single sentence in the finance bill that speaks to land rents and land issues. It was not true. It also says that we had put in there taxes that would make it difficult for people suffering from cancer. Let me tell you that, in fact, in this finance bill, we had put there 2 billion shillings to pay for the people who have cancer, who have diabetes, who have hypertension, because under our universal housing program. In the same bill, we had put interventions that would create more jobs. We had said, for example, there is no need for us to import diapers, to import pampers, to import linker, to import furniture from all manner of places when there are enough factories in Kenya to manufacture these products. And these products manufactured by Kenyans, hiring Kenyan young people, building Kenyan wealth, we were protecting our own industries so that we can protect our own jobs and give opportunity to millions of young people, to be able to understand, to be able to get jobs. And also, let me just say this lastly, potatoes, good people. Is it right for us to import potatoes from Europe, or eggs, or onions? We had put duty on importation of potatoes so that farmers in Nyandarua, in Timau, in different parts of Kenya can sell their produce without competition from potatoes from elsewhere. These are some of the things that were in the finance bill. I admitted, which I do, that maybe we didn't do as much communication as we should have. And that is a regret that I have admitted. But I am willing, I am ready, I am here to listen. Let me not say more. Let me do more listening.
Well, Mr. President, sir, ni mzuri tuongee ukweli.
Yes.
There's one problem with you, Mr. President. Haunanga huruma. You are not empathetic. Nini kitu imekasirisha watu wengi, Mr. President? Na hii shida yote ilianza ile time ya floods. Remember time ya floods? Watu walikuwa wanateseka. You never even said a word. A week later on, we saw you on a private plane to the US, carrying all sorts of people, unnecessary people to the US. Hapo ndo shida ikaanza. You never said a word. Ukirudi bado nyumbani, tukaanza mambo ya reject the finance bill, kanyamaza tu, ukaona tunaenda maandamano. You never said a word until watu wakaanza kuuliwa. That's when you decided to reject the finance bill. Mr. President, surely, mbona unanyamaza alafu unapenda uongo sana? Unaona tu vitu vinafanyika when it gets out of hand, alafu unaanza kuongea. Saizi kuna watu wanazika watoto wao saizi vile tunaongea. Saizi hata kuna rafiki yangu saizi anazikwa saizi. Ni matanga, hii wiki imekuwa ni matanga sababu ya maandamano. But you're here thinking about the economy. You're not even sympathetic to the families. Uja mention hata jina mtu mmoja. Kuna swali pia niliona umejibu sema about Rongai. You asked us, kila mtu kwa space wanatoka from different regions in Nairobi in Kenya. Yeah. Rongai, people are killed. Githurai, people are killed. However, the information received, unadhani they tell you only one person was killed. Okay, that's a life too. They do not feed you. They do not feed you the actual information. So you are just weighing the deaths of people, the number of people. You just tonight Kindiki was saying people are not killed, was not aware, people are not abducted. You are just arrested. Some of us were arrested. And your excuse is that the police unit is an independent body. Surely, Mr. President, watu watakuwa wanauliwa alafu unasema police unit is independent. Alafu wakati wanauliwa your excuse unasema the economy is growing. How can this right now the country is mourning. Properties worth of billions were banned. You have not addressed that. All you think about is the foreign policy and the economic status of the country, not about the livelihood of the common mananchi. Surely, Mr. President, we need you to be with you. Be empathetic. Your government should be empathetic. You should stop this issue of police brutality. That's what we want right now. Personally, the police came to my house at 3 a.m. They broke into my house. They refused to identify themselves, and that was it. We were abducted. It was like kidnapping. Hii mambo mimi sikumbuki, nilikuwa nadhani mambo ya movie. Mr. President, tulishikwa, tukapigwa. They even stole some stuff from our house. Imagine askari anakuja, akona bunduki anaingia kwa nyumba, akona mask, 12 of them with 12 cars arresting a single guy, an armed citizen. Alafu ukimwambia mbona anakuja kushika anakupiga. In the meantime bado anachukua vitu kwa nyumba yako. Unapelekwa place fulani hata ujini, not even a police station. When my friends were reporting the issue to the police station, they are not even aware. For my case, they even went to Parkland police station. That's where I was arrested. The OCPD told the guys, we know about this thing, but will not take any action. Meaning it was very criminal. The OCPD, Parkland police station OCPD, deputy OCPD was very much aware what was going on. We were not booked in any single police station. We were taken in a certain house. I think it was a safe house or something. I was blindfolded. Some guys were blindfolded for like 12 hours. Surely, Mr. President, are we in a terrorist country? We just want you to answer that. Okay. This is why we're in this space.
Thank you very much, my friend. I regret your situation. If that is the kind of treatment you have gone through, I apologize. And I will take action in this manner. No Kenya. And I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that there will be no extrajudicial killing. There will be no River Yala. There will be no, we used to have 20, 30 bodies in River Yala. When I came into office, I said nothing of that is ever going to happen. And I want to promise the people of Kenya that will not happen under my watch. However, I have had the kind of horror you have gone through. That is not right. What I will do after this engagement, I would like, I don't know, in a very secretive way. If you can send me the details of what happened, I will be able to take action, because you don't deserve the kind of treatment that you went through. Let me also say the following. You have talked about empathy. Maybe, people are born differently. Maybe we empathize in different ways. For the case of the floods, I even convened a whole cabinet meeting to just respond to that matter of floods. 3 cabinet meetings. My minister was on the ground. I was myself in Kiamaiko, in person. I came there in Kiamaiko. And for the first time, my brother, for the first time, normally when people are removed from places, they are brutalized. They are removed and nobody cares about where they go. Nobody cares about what happens to them. For the first time in the history of Kenya, I made sure that every Kenyan who was living in the riparian reserve was given money for alternative accommodation. We paid every Kenyan who left that place 10,000 shillings to be able to relocate away from the danger of the floods that were on the river. I mean, it was the best that I could do in that circumstance. And I promised them that under our housing program, because we now have their list, under our housing program, we are going to consider them the first beneficiaries of our social housing program. I made that commitment in public. If you ask our peers for housing, they already have the data on these Kenyans who were removed from the riparian reserve, who had to be relocated for their own safety. For your information, we lost many Kenyans who were sleeping there, but they were carried by the floods. And it was the best thing that I could do. I went there in person. My minister was there consistently. I had 3 different cabinet meetings to attend the issue. We committed close to 400 million to make sure that those Kenyans who were in that situation were attended to. Maybe it wasn't enough. Maybe I should have done more. Maybe then I should apologize for not doing more. But to the best of my ability, it is the first time the government of Kenya is providing money to relocate people who have been affected in situations like the one in the flood.
Okay, Mr. President, on the issue of Githurai, you said there was only 1 casualty, which is a lie. Mr. President, nakwambia tu kweli. Githurai inasemekana there are more than 200 people who were shot dead. Some wengine hata wajulikani mahali wako saizi, vile tunaongea ukweli saizi. In Rongai, they shot some guys pia. Wakakuficha wakakwambia ni mtu mmoja. Na ni ukweli, reality kwa ground watu walikuwa wanauliwa. Ina ni ukweli watu walikuwa wanauliwa. Tulikuwa huko, wote tulikuwa maandamano. Alafu kuna issue nyingine. This rogue cop amekuwa akichapa watu risasi, anachapa watu risasi open air, kila mtu ana camera there. The DCI doesn't do anything about it. Amekuwa all over social media, in the media, but you don't even say a word about him. His name is Murangiri. That killer cop ameua watu. Watu wanazikwa kila siku sababu yake. Juzi ilikuwa last week Wednesday nilikuwa town. Nilimwona akitembea tu town vizuri along Moi Avenue, very happy, very healthy. He's a killer cop. Nothing has been done to him. Hivi vitu tumekuwa tukomplain tangu kitambo. For how long should we be talking about this? About the killer cops?
Sorry.
You can go ahead, Mr. President.
My good brother, it is good to be brutally honest. And I will not, as president, or even as a Kenyan, ever say anything that is not factual, especially on a very serious matter of people losing lives. Are you saying 200 people were killed in Kithurai. Really? I mean, my friend, I mean, where are can the family step forward? People who are saying our members of our family are missing. They went to Mandamano or they went to picket and they did not come back. 200 people is not a joke, my friend. So I really